Hello everybody, and welcome to the CBT Gaming Channel. Your host here, CBT. We are joining back to Oxygen Not Included, so the new agricultural upgrade is now live. And so we're going to check that out today. I did notice that it looks like all the save data actually stayed put, but I'm not sure how they kind of convert it over to some of the changes that they made, especially in certain certain buildings and stuff like that. So just because it's a new upgrade, we're going to go ahead and we're going to start a new colony, just kind of go from scratch and build from there with all the new stuff that's now included into the game as part of the agricultural upgrade. So we're going to see some new stuff here. I'm actually pretty excited ever since I saw the videos from the developers for the agricultural upgrade. So what better way than to go ahead and hop right on in. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to get ready to pick out our first 3 duplicates, and there's already something new that we can see here. Food quality expectations. So as part of this, there's a lot of new food items you can make, and as part of that now, duplicates have a food expectation as to what they would prefer their quality be at or higher. So with that, looks like it's going to be a new thing that we're going to have to deal with here. So food quality expectation is the minimum quality of food a duplicate can tolerate eating. This duplicate requires 0 or higher food and will become stressed if forced to eat lower quality foods. And so in this case, that's going to be something that we're going to have to take into consideration as we pick out our people here. So let's go ahead and start working on our 3. Let's take a look at Ren. Ren's narcoleptic, but he's got mole hands, so he's a really good digger, which is always nice to have at the beginning. I just don't like the fact that he might fall asleep, but not the worst trait in the world as we've seen in the past. So I think we're going to go ahead and keep Ren. He'll be number 1 into the base. Ruby here, loud sleeper, so we're going to, even though she's got the diver lungs, loud sleeper is a very hard thing to kind of deal with. And also, we notice a new stress response. This is one of the new stress responses, is binge eater. So when she becomes stressed, she will dangerously overeat. And just eat. And so that could end up hurting the food supplies. But since I don't want a loud sleeper, we're going to go ahead and swap this one out. Grease monkey, small bladder. Here's the other new stress response too, is ugly crier. Basically, they curl up in a ball and just start bawling their face out when they're all super stressed. So a couple new things that we have to deal with there as well. For Lindsay, small bladder, grease monkey, I think we'll take a pass on that. I definitely don't want the mouth breeder because that's increase in oxygen. I already have a narcoleptic mole hand. We don't need 2 of those, so we're going to skip over that one. We have Marie, who is buff, adds 5 to strength. That's a new actual, well, ironically, buff for the duplicates, but we're going to pass because I don't like the biohazard. Gastrophobia, iron gut, so can pretty much eat about anything, but cannot cook. I mean, not bad. I mean, we do got a good decent amount of plus stats there. Sure, we'll go ahead and keep Abe. And then looking at our last one, interior decorator, gastrophobe. Decor expectations only 5, so that's not bad. Food quality, everybody has low food quality expectations, which that's probably going to be helpful at the beginning anyways. So you know what? We'll go ahead and keep Catalina because... Oh wait, hold on. No, we can't have 2 gastrophobes. I need more people who can cook. I really don't want the narcoleptic. I definitely don't want anemic. I definitely don't want bottomless stomach. Come on, give me a scaredy cat. Noodle arms. That's new. Duplicate arms have all the tensile strength of an overcooked linguine. -3 to strength. So, nah, we're going to pass on that. You know what? I'm okay with the yokel. Decor expectation 15, but good creativity on that. So This one, Nisbet here, will probably be our artist. She's the destructive one, so we'll have to be careful there. But I think we will go with these three to start out. The death facility. Yes, we are going with the death facility for this one. Because in this game, it's always a matter of time before everything just implodes upon itself and all your duplicants end up dying. So, I think that's what we're going to go ahead and go with, is the death facility. Let us embark. Okay. So let's kind of get our bearings here, see what's going on. So we got a water pocket there. Got like a skim of water down here. That's a vacuum. Low concentration of oxygen. We're going to be going pretty rough here because I'm not seeing a lot of areas that seem to have oxygen. So this is going to be a real rough go to begin with. The only thing that's really going to be saving me from the start is going to be the oxalate right here, which is helping fill my room as well as that room right above with oxygen, because there's even more over here. There's a little bit right there. It's not going to do a lot for that though, especially because it's all trapped. As far as my temperature overlay, can I see where maybe there might be one of my cold zones? Okay, that looks like hotter zone down there. There's cold up in that area. And then that looks like some warm temperature kind of over in that upper left corner. So it looks like my ice biome is going to be more into that upper right. Now, one of the big challenges I'm going to have to deal with in this one, with the new update, is the fact that I can no longer use that little trick with the food storage where I create like a little box of vacuum space and then put my food storage in there to keep it sterilized and to basically keep it refrigerated. That's no longer a thing. You cannot do the whole diagonal grab of your food. So that's going to be a new challenge, is trying to keep my food from going bad. We're going to have to either keep it in the cold biome, or we may even have to find another way of sterilizing it by creating probably like a carbon dioxide area. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. Of course, we're going to dig out this way first. And we're going to dig out that way as well. So one thing I can see already kind of presenting itself as a problem is, since all this oxalate's exposed, it's all emitting oxygen, which is going to reduce the mass of it until it eventually disappears. So that's only going to sustain us for a short period of time. And so we're going to have to essentially very quickly find a way of getting a supply of oxygen going for the base to help maintain. There's one of the new plants that you can actually grow. This thing does need to be in the cold area, the sleet wheat. You'll use that for certain food items. So we see a couple of them throughout the ice biome. And then as we get into one of like the slime biomes, or even like one of the warmer areas where there's like typically hydrogen and everything, we'll run into our pick-a-pepper plant. Which was something that was featured on the video that I had a laugh at, watching the guys even trying to pronounce that, because they would stumble on it quite a bit. And then of course you still have the mealwood as well as the bristle blossom. Now another challenge is you actually have to provide water as well. Combat. Oh, we found a hatch, but you know what? We're a little early in the phase, and I'm sure I'll find more elsewhere. So, Ren, you get that hatch and get them. Get them good. Oh, there it is. The pincha pepper plant. Correction. Okay, so start of the game, kind of the same. Usually just have to kind of expand, build as you go. The first thing we will definitely probably want to get going quickly will be the outhouses. So that way my duplicants have a place to go to the bathroom. So I think we're going to expand out this way. And we will do the 2 outhouses not floating style. Okay. So we kind of got their starting area as far as what I want them to do here real quick, so then that way they are keeping themselves busy. So we'll go ahead and do that for right now. Just kind of let them build, and then we will begin to kind of see where I want to begin the expanding process. Now this is going to be the tricky part, because yeah, these pinch of pepper plants, they require definitely the hotter temperatures, and so usually you're going to find them in these areas here. Uh-oh. Oh. Alright, so we've run into our first glitch of the new game here. Abe got himself stuck. So we're gonna need to fix that real quick. Come on guys, gotta get Abe out of there. He cannot stay there. Alright, that would have been really bad if we would have lost Abe in cycle number 1. That would just be a horrible sign for the base. Loss of a duplicant before the end of cycle 1. Yeah, that would be really, really bad. Yes, I know you guys are cold, and that's because that skim of water floated itself upwards on top of the tile because you built on top of it. But that's fine. We'll be able to use that soon. I'm guessing it was appropriate to call this place the death facility, considering that we almost had our first death within cycle 1 of our new colony here, so hopefully that's not an omen for things to come for us, because that would be really bad if I'm going to have to deal with problems like that all throughout this game. There we go, and now they can reach everything else. And the sand. I always forget about the sand and how that's just gonna... Oh wow, look at how many hatches we have. So we have 2 just below where we were, and of course they're gonna hop upwards here. And they're gonna come up to the main floor, so... And then we also got one over here, so we got plenty of hatches, so I'm not too bad. I'm not too worried about the fact that we killed that one real quick. Okay, so now we got our second floor already pretty much built at this point. Definitely want to create a little room though, so that we get some decent airflow going between that top and bottom floor. Because oxygen level, we're not going to worry about too much right now. But that will become a concern rather quickly. Alright, so now that we got the bathroom situation taken care of, next, of course, is typically always food and then oxygen. And then already we're starting to see the whole food's not being refrigerated, so that's going to already start to present its own problem. So I'm a little surprised that those hatches are able to be down there without doing their whole like, oh, I'm going to drown. Uh-oh. We have idle duplicants. You never want idle duplicants. Alright, that oxalite's disappearing quick, so that's going to pretty much immediately present itself as a problem. Oh, and that's all CO2 up there, I can tell, yep. All carbon dioxide, all vacuum, all vacuum. CO2 in the ice biome. Man, we did not get a very good map when it comes to oxygen levels in this game. Now this area, slightly breathable, low concentration as well. Low concentration. This area has a high concentration, but obviously not a whole lot there. A little random piece of oxalite sitting there, so that's kind of weird. Okay. All right. So the obvious first issue is we definitely want to get research going. So for the time being, we're going to do power generator, battery, and we're going to tie a research station to it. And then we'll just do a quick little electrical wire right there. Because then that way I can pretty much get research going right off the bat and start worrying about getting all my upgrades taken care of. Okay. So when it comes to research, Ren is our guy. He's going to do the research. I'm going to restrict art to Nesbet only. And then this is also new, where you can actually kind of like pre-pick what jobs your newer duplicants that come in either will or will not have as soon as they come into the base. So that was something that was new. I'm pretty happy to see that. This is a new one, the consumables. Because now we have all the different types of foods, such as pickled meat, meallice, the field ration, muck root, the mush bar, mush fry, lice loaf, meat. This is a new one, frost bun, bristleberry, and then the gristleberry, pepper bread, barbecue, and stuffed berry. So a lot of new things you can actually do with food. Kind of the same thing, you can assign what they will and will not eat based on kind of what they would prefer, it looks like. So obviously the more preferred items are up here, not so preferred down here. And you can do the same thing with new duplicants here, as well as assign them certain things that they will be allowed and won't be allowed to eat. Alright, so the research bay is up. It looks like they kind of cleaned up the trees a little bit. Oh, look at that. performance combustion. That's a new one. Ooh, a natural gas generator. So that's something that's new as well. So there's now natural gas. And then also the power transformer for power regulation. Most of everything else, that's new. Automate switching power grids based off the ambient liquid pressures. Okay. So yeah, there's definitely some new stuff. The hydroponic farm is a new one, as far as like being able to plant items into there. You got the normal farm tiles, because there's going to be certain plants that require that you move liquid to them as well to help them with as far as their amount of kilocalories that they will produce. So now food, instead of having a set amount, will produce based on if they're in like ideal environments, or if they if they're in poor environments, then they'll obviously produce less. So that's a new factor that we have to play with as well. Uh-oh. Why are we idle, people? You know what you can do? Build me some storage compactors. Except not ones that float. Because apparently I don't know how to click on the ground. And then I guess might as well get some of the cots going here. So do 1, space 1, 2, and we'll call that good for now. Alright, so something new with these storage compactors, they've now made it to where you can copy and paste whatever you set up on one, and you can copy it to the rest of them, which that's great because that's now going to save us a lot of time, so I'm not having to sit there and checkbox every single one, which that was like one of the most tedious things that you had to do in this game, was set up your storage compactors. So instead of having to do it like it was before, so we go through, pick it all for 1, and then we will go copy settings, and bam! Now all our storage compactors are set in one fell swoop. That is amazing. In fact, I don't have to spend so much time trying to get all of that to having to go each individual one and set the settings for each one, because that was such a pain. And I'm so glad that they finally implemented something to make that easier for us. Okay, so obviously this section here is the ice biome. That's where everything's going to be. I'm not liking the fact that this polluted ice already looks like it's going to be melting, because that means we're going to start getting polluted water down here. But that's obviously where we're going to probably need to store things like power. We'll have to do food storage over there. Probably a few other things as well. So aside from cleaning up, we will need to get you guys digging over here. And then what we'll do, just to kind of help trap the cold and keep it from filling up the rest of the base, we'll put some tile and a manual airlock there. Alright, so our first new duplicate. Alright, so let's see who we get here. Small bladder and can't build, so Lindsay, you're out. Max can't dig it, so he's a no digger. Well, you're out. And, I mean, needless to say, I don't need somebody farting up a storm in the colony, even though that diver's lung is something that we would prefer. I'm assuming this guy's going to produce a lot of polluted oxygen, because he's going to, he's going to be farting up a storm for us. So we're going to go ahead and reject these guys. We'll take a pass. We'll maybe catch somebody on the next duplicate coming in. So as we can see, oxygen wise, this is going to be kind of the rough area over here. mean, even with the last remaining bit of oxalite, we're not going to have enough to really sustain. Now, the sooner... Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. Next thing is we'll go straight to gas pumping, because, again, we definitely need to try to get a lot of this stuff done as soon as possible, but this opens up the terrarium for us, which we can use that to try to at least get a little bit of the CO2 taken care of. And that also gives us our planter box, so that way we can start growing certain food, as well as it opened up the compost. Because then essentially the next concern we're going to have is going to be over here with the bathrooms, the polluted oxygen creating, or the polluted dirt creating polluted oxygen. Okay, so while they're asleep, we're going to build out a game plan here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then that'll be the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, ground level. There we go. There we go. So that'll help kind of curb the carbon dioxide problem over there, because that'll absorb a little bit of it, convert it into oxygen. Resources low, water. Yeah, I mean, we can even see that these guys, they actually do consume an odd number of the kilocalories as well, because normally it was typically like around 1,000 they would each consume, but now they consume different amounts based on like their hunger, what they prefer to eat, and so now we get these odd numbers of kilocalories, but as long as we have enough to feed them, we're good. Okay, and already we have run into our first problem, which is consistent supply of water. So the weather got all cold up here over the last couple of days, and it's really been messing with me. I'm kind of stuffy and congested. So I apologize if I end up maybe accidentally coughing and it happens to be in a part I really can't edit because I was trying to say some stuff, but you know, I'll do my best. So just kind of bear with me as I go along. Alright, excellent. So we got the gas plumbing or gas piping research done. Next will most likely be, we'll go straight to, you know, we'll just keep kind of working our way down. So we'll hit liquid piping next. I mean, the downside is we're keeping Rin busy, so he's not out there to help with like the digging and the building, but we do want to try to get research done, you know, sooner rather than later, so that way I'm not trying to play catch up, because if I can get the base level research done, then I can build the supercomputer, get that going, try to get all the advanced research done as quickly as possible, and then dismantle the research station and the supercomputer, because we won't need those anymore, and that will save on like power. We'll have to see how the new circuits work based on the new way that you can convert from the heavy watt wire to a regular circuit. So that way you don't have like the big bulky wires everywhere, because it definitely does bring down the decor significantly, having that pretty much all over the base. We're going to have to find like an area that basically I don't care about decor and having like all the bulky power stuff. So we'll figure out where that would be at some point. So a lot of this is going to be trying to figure out how I'm going to be building certain things with the way all this new stuff works out. Alright, so they breached into where some of the water was. Now hopefully they'll get some of that delivered over to that algae terrarium so we can get that back going. Kind of help deal with the CO2 buildup that we have going on over there. Excellent. I'm pretty much running 3x speed at this point, because we definitely need to try to get things done in a very quick manner. The next step, though, I will definitely say is going to be getting that stuff moved over there. Cool, and that research is done. I'm going to hang off on the research for a second, let these guys kind of do their thing. We're going to need to get the massage table, because we're going to have to begin doing stress management pretty quick. And I'm going to keep this. I'm actually going to keep the massage table down here, because it now uses power. But I no longer have to assign anybody to it. I can just basically set a threshold, and when a duplicate hits that threshold, they're going to go to the massage table and get a massage and relax, and hopefully not be too stressed. So stress management should be a little bit easier in that aspect now. It's definitely going to be a game of balancing power consumption amongst the different items now. So as we go, we're going to go electrical wire. You can now see there's a little plug there on the massage table. So we're going to go ahead and make those connections. They're gonna anger these hatches here in a second. Wait. Did they bury those hatches? They did. There's totally a hatch buried down in there. Alright, so we do have some hatches trapped under the tile now, which I didn't actually think was something that could happen, but apparently it can. Apparently hatches can get trapped in the tile. They just stay burrowed forever. Probably until you dig out the spot that they're burrowed into, and then they'll probably be mad because we dug them up, but you know what? I don't care. You hatches will deal with it. Yeah, and just as I figured, here's all the polluted water that's coming down from that polluted ice. Okay, and as you can see, Nisbet is going to be the first one on the stress table. She crossed the threshold that I had set for them to go ahead and go hit that stress table and relax. Oh, that problem, though, is... Yeah, because as we can see, my oxygen has very rapidly decreased. So I think we're going to build a deoxidizer right there, so that way we can try to boost that oxygen production, get that back to where it needs to be. Alright, taking a look. Mouth breather, don't want... Okay, so we got 2 scaredy cats, 1 with diver's lungs. So automatically, Catalina, you are going to join the death facility. Try not to die. And so as part, gotta get you a bed. I'm hoping they fix the thing where I'm not going to have to worry about what resource I'm building everything out of. And that it just defaults to the more common one, because that would be nice. So jobs. Don't want you doing art. Oh, wait, that's the for new duplicants. Never mind. And don't do research. Catalina, let Ren do research, and let somebody else do the artwork. All right, power regulation is next. Alright, so we got the deoxidizer going, producing some oxygen, hopefully kind of get that spread out throughout the base and increase the concentration of that, because we definitely can't have all the oxygen running out as that all dries out, because the battery isn't going to last for very long. This is going to be a concern, because obviously I don't need my people basically soaking in CO2 while they're up there. So we're going to create some gas permeable tile, let that CO2 drop as they sleep. Because we saw pretty quick how that CO2 built up while they were all sleeping up there. Okay, so things are a little rough going. I think I'm noticing that this terrarium is, I want to say it's consuming a lot more water than it did before, which I'm not sure if I'm a fan of that. And it is looking like most of the stuff that, like, when you go to build, it's starting to default to the more common materials, which I'm excited for that, because that means I'm not going to have to sit there and, you know, prevent myself from building obsidian things all the time. And I'll just go ahead and actually build it out of sandstone like they're supposed to. Okay, but yeah, oxygen production's gonna be big, and it's gonna be big pretty early. I'm starting to get the feeling of. Man, we're just not able to keep that battery going either, so I think it's going to be time to kind of build out that way, and I think we're just going to have to start moving power. And just to prepare, because I remember this being a problem last time, throw in a little random tile there to create a water block. Alright, so things are oxygen-wise, we're just not looking good here. We really kind of got shafted with the way this map started out. I don't know how long this base is gonna end up surviving. I'm not very optimistic about it, because I really got kind of screwed. There was not much as far as like oxygen and other places for me to use, and this algae terrarium seems like it needs so much more water than it did in the previous version, that it's just, they're too busy running back and forth grabbing these little skims of water trying to keep that going, that they're completely just not building any of the stuff that I really need them to build, and keeping that little battery filled with power while we try to get that deoxidizer, as well as having people hit that massage table. It's presenting a very, very early problem. I may need to possibly explore this game a little bit more on my own. Uh-oh, we got some polluted dirt there, so we need to get this sealed off. And we need to get a compost going, because we also need to start getting some fertilizer for growing food. Alright guys, you know what, just hurry up and grab the last 3,000 grams of water so you guys can stop doing that. Another duplicate, although with my oxygen situation being as dire as it is, I'm probably going to end up rejecting. So yokel, early bird, and amphibious. Another molehan, but mouth breather, small bladder, and can't build molehans. Yeah, so we're gonna reject. We're already in a very tough situation as it is. Try and get this battery room built and try to get these 3 big batteries going, because if I get rid of the small battery and just stick with these big guys over here to just at least supplement the power over here for the time being, hopefully then I won't have to worry too much about running out of power, and we can just have that deoxidizer run and continue to build the oxygen pressure in the main area here. Wait a second. Can't get stuff diagonally. My butt, guys. Just watch that guy get water diagonally. Huh. Soggy feet. That was something that was new there. Yep, soggy feet. When they step in water, I guess they get soggy feet now, and that might be something that'll stress them out. It's another new thing. So yeah, they did. They kind of added a lot of stuff here. It's going to be very interesting seeing how the entirety of this new upgrade ends up working out. No oxygen. Yeah, of course there's no oxygen in there. That is like all CO2 you're in, buddy. Oh, okay. So now we got some regular ice melting as well. Because now we got this big old bubble of water kind of mixed with some clean water as well. I'm noticing. That's because, well, now we got 3 batteries here just producing heat, probably like a mug. And just melting all this ice, but you know what, that's fine. Because essentially if all this stuff ends up melting and dropping down into this area, since I got that there, it has no choice but to go off to the side, and maybe we'll pull up down there, and I could probably do something with it later. There's our pinch pepper. It's a pinch pepper plant in the middle of a hydrogen area. There's a pinch pepper seed. There's chlorine. A slime biome. Ooh, geez. I have just noticed my food situation here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and plant the mealwood seeds. That's going to definitely be kind of a top concern, is getting the food going. And as we kind of go through, I can see the different levels here. So like, as an example, standard, we're going to get 800 kilocalories in meallice. Good, it doubles up to 1600. And then if we get excellent, not only do we get the 1600, but we actually do get 2 mealwood seeds back. So the mealwood seeds and the thermal upgrade, they did not drop seeds any further in that one, which made the mealwood very limited resource. But if you can get them into ideal conditions here, and you get the excellent score, the mealwood seeds can essentially go back to being a self-sustaining food source, because you continuously get seeds from the actual plants themselves. So we'll see how this goes. And see, you can see already right there, can't fertilize, can't irrigate. So the planter boxes is going to be a very temporary solution. It's probably not going to get me up to that excellent status and allow me to get the seeds back on them. So we're going to have to try to get over to like the aqua tiles as quickly as possible, so that way we can then irrigate, get fertilizer to them, and do all the stuff that plants probably really need in order to properly survive and produce a lot of good food. But right now we're just trying to get some of the algae situation taken care of. Food has also become a rather drastic and dire need. And even though I really don't like doing this, we're going to have to build the micro musher. And we're probably going to have to start out by feeding the duplicants some mush bars. Alright, so yeah. It's definitely looking like starvation's going to most likely set in, because there is no food left. They have ate it all. I mean, I could probably dig and hopefully find some more muckroot or something to kind of sustain these guys. But I mean, this base is very quickly becoming a disaster zone, because I've got so much polluted water now melting over here, and it's not refreezing quick enough that eventually that's going to fill and start to overflow that area. And then, so, I mean, the death facility was a very idealistic name for this base, because these guys are going to die rather quickly. So, yeah. So definitely some new challenges. I've definitely got to probably refigure this game out, replay it a bit. I don't even know what happened there. I don't know how that water got in there. Must have breached from that side and just kind of came through. There's just a lot of stuff happening that I just don't even know what's going on. So, yeah, I might just have to do maybe like some solo play around with some of the mechanics, get more familiar with everything that's going on, because there was definitely a lot of changes. Things are definitely much different than what they were with just the thermal upgrade, and it's going to take some getting used to. But yeah, this base is pretty much going to be a dead base very quickly here. It's not going to survive much longer. But it was a learning experience. I definitely learned very quickly how much more difficult this game became. But it's nice that this game is such a challenge, because I'm probably never going to get bored of this game either. But I think what we're going to go ahead and do is we're going to wrap this video up. Right there at the end of Cycle 14 is perfect. Appreciate you guys coming and checking out the channel. I hope you like the update on the video, or the update on the oxygen not included. I know we didn't really even get into everything yet, but I've got to do some solo play, got to really start refiguring out the mechanics before I probably continue to do the Let's Play videos on these. I do have my new equipment ordered. It should be here by Monday, so hopefully that way I can start bringing the PlayStation 4 stuff onto the channel as mentioned before. I've also got some more games lined up on Steam things like Fallout 3, New Vegas and stuff, because I wouldn't mind doing some of those on the channel as well. I'm always looking for more game suggestions, guys, so if you do have some, hit me up on my Facebook page, shoot me a message there, and you know, I'll give whatever games you suggest a quick gander, see what's going on, see what's good there. But for everybody who has been following the channel so far, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate every single one of you. You guys are awesome. You guys are fantastic. Make sure you guys share my page and my channel with your friends, so that way we can continue to grow this channel. If you did like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Also, to make sure that you're always getting the new videos as soon as they come out, make sure you click that bell as well. If you haven't already, if you've already clicked the bell on a previous video, please don't click the bell because that turns it off. But yeah, give it a like, give it a bell. Make sure you get those notifications. Share with your friends, whether it's the Facebook page or even the YouTube channel. Like copy the link on my channel up there in that URL bar and share that with your friends. Get people on here, and hopefully as this channel grows, my next goal is to definitely get those live streams going, so that way we can actually stream and I can interact with you guys while I play rather than just doing these Let's Play videos. But that's going to do it for this episode of Oxygen Not Included. This is CBT. Everybody have a great night.